Wade Wilson was finally moving up in the world. After years of dodging bullets for pocket change, he had landed a gig that most people would kill for, literally. He was the new lead night security consultant for a shadowy, deep-pocketed tech conglomerate. The pay was astronomical. The benefits included a 401k he didn't understand, and best of all, the company developed a special military AI. Finally, Wade whispered to his reflection in the lobby's polished marble floor on his first day, "A job where my only responsibility is to exist and occasionally stare at a monitor. I'm like a human screensaver." Wade loved the job. Every evening, as the last of the stressed-out engineers scurried out of the glass and steel monolith, Deadpool would skip through the front doors, punch his time card with flamboyant flair, and begin his patrol. In reality, his patrol consisted of raiding the executive fridge for artisanal string cheese and using the high-speed floor buffers to drag race himself down the hallways. He was the only soul in the building at night. It was peaceful, it was quiet, it was the perfect place for a nap. One Tuesday, around 2 a.m., Wade found himself in the employee break room. He pushed 3 plush sofas together to create a fort of solitude. After a rigorous 3-hour session of Hello Kitty Island adventure on his phone, his eyelids grew heavy. He tucked his katanas under his pillow for sweet dreams and drifted off into a deep chimichanga-filled slumber. Deadpool woke up with a start, a long string of drool connecting his mask to the sofa cushion. He checked the digital clock on the wall. "God, hashtag it," he groaned, stretching until his spine popped like bubble wrap. "Only 4:30? I've still got 2.5 hours until the morning shift gets here. I've already watched every cat video on the internet twice. What's a bored mercenary to do?" He decided to wander. Not the normal, "I'm checking for intruders" wander, but the "I wonder what's behind this door" wander. He strolled through the corridors, twirling his baton and whistling a jaunty tune. Eventually, he found himself in front of the elevators. "You know," he said to the empty hallway, "I've never pressed the B4 button. It's so shiny, it's practically begging for a finger touching." He pressed it. The elevator descended deeper than he thought possible, the hum of the motors vibrating in his boots. When the doors slid open, the air was colder, clinical, and smelling of ozone. He stepped out into a hallway made of reinforced titanium. At the very end was a massive circular vault door with a glowy red sign above it, Project Skynet. Skynet, really? Talk about an unoriginal naming department. What's next? A project called Death Star that's just a very hot microwave? Deadpool walked up to the door and swiped his level 1 security card. "Access denied." "Rude. Don't you know who I am? I'm the guy who makes sure nobody steals the staplers." Curiosity, as they say, killed the cat, but Deadpool had a healing factor, so he didn't care about the cat's fate. He looked at the keypad. It was a 10-digit alphanumeric beast. He had 3 tries before the system went into total lockdown mode, which would involve sirens, angry men with submachine guns, and, worst of all, Deadpool getting fired and losing his dental plan. Trial 1. He typed 80085. Buzz. Wrong code. 2 attempts remaining. Classic. Always worth a shot, Wade muttered. Trial 2. He tried Chimichanga Time 4 Wade. Buzz. Wrong code. Final attempt remaining. Okay, now I'm sweating, and not the good kind of sweating you get from a sauna or a high-speed chase. He closed his eyes, searching his fractured memory. He went back to his initial interview with Gary, the sweaty middle manager. Gary had been distracted, muttering something under his breath while typing into his tablet. Wait. Wade's eyes snapped open. Gary was complaining about his ex-wife's birthday. It was... He typed CANDICE 1984. Click. The heavy bolts retracted with a thud that echoed in his chest. The massive door hissed open, revealing a room bathed in an eerie, pulsating blue light.
Deadpool stepped inside, bracing for something spectacular. He expected a choir of angels, or maybe a room full of gold coins like Scrooge McDuck. Instead, he found a solitary, massive supercomputer. It was a tower of black glass and humming processors, looking like a giant, expensive refrigerator. "This is it?" Wade asked the empty room. "The world's most powerful AI? It looks like it belongs in a Batman villain's basement. Does it even have games?" He sat down in the high-backed ergonomic chair, which was surprisingly comfy, and began fiddling with the console. After a few minutes of clicking through terrifying files labeled Global Extinction Protocols and Target Sarah Connor, he found what he was looking for, an internet browser. "If I can't find a Mario game, I'll make one," he chirped. Through a series of highly illegal downloads and questionable clicks, he managed to get an emulator running. He was just about to take a victory sip of his security guard special, a cup of coffee that was 40% caffeine, 50% sugar, and 10% mystery cream, when the reality of the room shifted. The air began to ripple like heat off a desert highway. A portal of shimmering, jagged electricity tore open in the center of the room. From the portal, there was no man, no clothes, just a humanoid shape made of pure liquid mercury. It stepped onto the floor, its feet making no sound. The silver surface of its body rippled, reflecting the blue lights of the room. It didn't have a face, just a smooth, terrifyingly blank silver head. "Whoa!" Deadpool shouted, jumping up and nearly dropping his coffee on the Skynet mainframe. "Silver Surfer, is that you? You look shinier and shorter. Did you lose the board and the divorce?" The T-1000 didn't respond with wit. It didn't respond with words. Its right arm suddenly elongated, the liquid metal sharpening into a jagged 3-foot-long blade. "The timeline must be preserved." A voice vibrated from the air around the machine. Not a human voice, but a synthesized frequency. "The creator must not be neutralized by bean water." "Bean water?" Deadpool gasped, offended. "This is a triple-shot caramel macchiato with extra foam. And wait, did you just say you're here to save the computer? You mean if I spill this, the world doesn't end? That's the most Deadpool thing I've ever heard." Wade looked at his coffee, then at the exposed, humming vent of the Skynet core. He began to tilt the cup with a mischievous glint in his eye. The T-1000 lunged. The silver blade whistled through the air, slicing clean through the back of the ergonomic chair. Deadpool rolled across the floor, holding his coffee high like a sacred relic. "No touchy the latte!" Wade yelled. He drew a 1911 and fired 3 rounds into the silver humanoid's chest. The bullets splashed into the metal, creating ripples before being absorbed and spat out onto the floor. The T-1000 morphed. Its entire body became a blur of silver. It didn't just walk, it flowed. It surged across the floor like a tidal wave of mercury. Deadpool leaped onto a server rack, kicking off the wall to perform a mid-air backflip. "You're like a giant angry puddle," Deadpool laughed, drawing his katanas. "Let's see if I can make some silver confetti." He slashed downward, burying both blades into what would be the T-1000's shoulders. The blades went in easily, too easily. The T-1000's shoulders melted around the swords, trapping them. Then the liquid metal began to crawl up the blades toward Deadpool's hands. "Oh, that's cheating!" Wade let go of the hilts and punched the T-1000 square in its face. His fist sank into the metal like it was thick syrup. The T-1000 formed a second set of arms from its torso, which turned into spikes and drove straight through Deadpool's stomach. "Gah, okay, Wade wheezed, blood coughing up into his mask. "That's a bit pointy. You really have no sense of humor, do you?" Deadpool grabbed the spikes embedded in his gut, using them as leverage to headbutt the liquid silver. His head went right through the T-1000's skull, leaving a gaping silver-rimmed hole that slowly began to seal. Wade realized he couldn't kill this thing with traditional holes. He needed to be creative. He looked back at the Skynet core. The T-1000 was standing between him and the computer, acting as a living shield. "You know," Deadpool said, reaching into his tactical pouch while his stomach wounds began to knit back together, "I was gonna just drink this coffee, but now it's a matter of principle." He pulled out a high-grade liquid nitrogen canister he'd stolen from the Science and Stuff department on Level 2 earlier that week. "Stay cool, Terminator!" He smashed the canister against the T-1000's legs. The freezing gas hissed out, instantly turning the liquid silver into brittle, frosted solid. The T-1000 tried to move, but its legs shattered like glass. It fell forward, its upper body still trying to morph, but the cold was spreading. Deadpool didn't waste a second. He grabbed a heavy fire extinguisher from the wall and began beating the frozen parts of the robot into tiny silver ice cubes. And for the finishing touch, Wade walked over to the Skynet terminal. The T-1000, now just a half-formed torso struggling to stay liquid, reached out a shivering silver hand. "No, the future." "The future is overrated. I hear in the future they don't even have movie theaters anymore, just brain chips. Hard pass." He took his cup of coffee, now cold and disgusting, and held it directly over the main intake fan of the Skynet supercomputer. "Cheers, Gary." He poured the entire cup into the machine. Bzzz, spark, crack. The room exploded in a shower of white sparks and black smoke. The Skynet screen turned bright red, then purple, then died. The T-1000 let out a sound like a dying modem and dissolved into a flat, motionless puddle of lead-colored sludge on the floor. Deadpool stood in the dark smoking room. The silence was deafening. He looked at the puddle of the T-1000, then at the fried billion-dollar computer. "Well," he sighed, "that was a great workout, but I think the security part of my job description is officially void." He walked out of the Skynet room, the heavy door failing to lock behind him. He took the elevator back to the lobby, whistling a tune. As he passed the front desk, he grabbed a piece of company stationery and a glitter pen. "Dear management, I'm putting in my 2-minute notice. The basement has a serious plumbing issue, lots of silver goo, and I accidentally spilled my drink on your calculator. Also, I'm keeping the uniform. It makes my butt look like a harvest moon. Peace out, Wade." He slapped the note on the glass front doors and walked out into the cool morning air, just as the sun began to rise. He didn't have a job, and he was pretty sure a robotic hit squad might be sent after him eventually, but he had a half-eaten bag of chips in his pocket, and his Mario high score was safe. "Maximum effort," he whispered, and disappeared into the city.